Blockbuster movies have always ruled cinema. However, from the early 2010s to basically to the end of the decade in 2019, those specific blockbuster movies have had a big impact on pop culture. And one of those are Marvel movies. Marvel movies cannot be topped or touched in the 2010s. And along with that was their big parent company, Disney. Everyone will go see a Marvel movie and it'll make $1 billion and everyone will talk about it for weeks. Disney was on a hot streak where in 2019 they had 7 movies that made $1 billion. 7 movies. Let that sink into your head. And there have been other movie studios who are making a moderate amount of money with their movies. But fast forward 4 years later in 2023, there have been so many blockbuster movies that I was looking forward to. From Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, Shazam, and so many others. And people, along with myself, finally seeing these movies have been our reaction to seeing them.
Disgusting.
And plus, a lot of these blockbusters all kind of look generic and feel the same, to where audience have pretty much said,
I think I'm gonna stay home.
However, in the midst of bad blockbuster to mediocre ones, there have been 3 saviors of cinema in 2023. And those are Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I love saying it that way. Oppenheimer and Barbie. All these movies were good films and were critically and commercially successful movies. And while I just can't give you a straightforward talk about the ways that these 3 movies succeeded, I'd rather keep y'all entertained and breaking down. Shall we, Baloo?
Take me home, Daddy.
Number 1, name recognition. The number 1 reason why these movies were so successful is that they had familiar names attached to them. It made money due to it having a great first movie where it won an Oscar for the best animated movie of that year, breaking Disney's streak of Oscar wins. And plus, Spider-Man's already a household name. Unlike other movies where they sell the movie based off its premise or its actors, this movie was sold by the name Christopher Nolan, where you can have his name pop up anywhere and it automatically makes money. And plus, going into a Christopher Nolan film, people already know they're going to get a great quality of film. Now let's be honest with this one. The movie Barbie is a big ass product placement movie. However, that is a complaint. Because at the end of the movie, I like Barbie, but the name Barbie instantly grabs people's attention from it being a toy line across generations. Like my mom had Barbies and my sister had Barbies. Now, I got to admit, I only had one Barbie growing up, and that was Tour Guide Barbie. And the only reason I had that Barbie is because I wanted all the toys from Toy Story 2. So don't at me. Number 2, budgets were low. One of the major problems with modern blockbusters is they have a high budget. For example, Fast X's budget cost $340 million. Ain't no way a movie should cost that much. Ain't no way. The Flash cost $220 million. And the movie bombed to where it became the biggest superhero movie flop of all time. This one right here was the craziest one of all. I don't think y'all want to hear this one. All right, you asked. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny cost $294 million.
Say that again.
$294 million. There was absolutely no reason why an Indiana Jones movie should have cost as much. I feel like the reason why these movies cost so much is due to the movie studios focusing on the special effects. And these special effects aren't great anyway. But with these specific 3 movies, and it cost all that much to make. This movie cost $100 million to make, and its total worldwide gross $684 million, which is double from the original movie.
That's my boy.
Christopher Nolan's epic biopic cost $100 million, and its worldwide gross, as I record this video essays, it will subject to change, $577 million. It cost $145 million, and the movie made, wait a minute, how much did the movie make? $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Good mugger. I knew this movie would make money, but not that much money. Bravo, Barbie. Bravo. While $100 million is nothing to sneeze at, it's still better than $300 million. I think the majority of these movie studios think when they put $200 million or more into these movies, which usually cost so much because they're stuffing it with CGI, they expect audience to go like, wow, when audience go to see these movies, they're actually going like, these days, I don't think spectacle captures people's, attention like it used to. What audience are going to see for these movies is for the stories and for the characters. A little bit of the style to which all these 3 movies had Which leads me to my next point. Number 3, they have a cool aesthetic to them. Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse, Oppenheimer, and Barbie are all movies that have their own style and aesthetic. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has this cool cel-shaded animation, I think that's what it's called, to where it's different from other animation studios such as Disney and DreamWorks. The movie is tapped with its own style where characters like Hobie Brown, aka Spider-Punk, has different animations than its counter Spider-Man. It's a given that anytime Christopher Nolan, his movies are always going to have a style and substance to them. And Oppenheimer is no stranger to that. Oppenheimer is a movie filmed with an IMAX camera. So right there, that speaks value. And the movie goes from black and white to color throughout the movie. Both the color and the black and white represent different things in the movie. The color is supposed to represent Oppenheimer's perspective, while the black and white is meant to show another character's point of view in the story. Anyone saw the Barbie trailer, you know right away this movie has its own style. From its production, the world that Barbie and Ken's come from, and the pink aesthetic that is painted across the film. Pink! By the way, this movie has so much pink, there was a pink shortage. When I was watching the Barbie movie, and when the story was taking place in Barbie Land, I felt I was watching a real set, something tangible, somewhere I could actually go and visit. What makes this movie great is that in its very opening movie, it felt like there was an actual person playing with a Barbie and Barbie accessories.
Propane and propane accessories.
I enjoyed the production style to the movie so much that I wanted to jump right in and spend time in Barbie Land, where me and Mermaid Barbie would go swimming at the beach. All 3 movies look amazing, and I respect them for trying to be different. And it's funny that I mentioned Barbie having its own style because it's a Warner Brothers movie. And this summer, we had another Warner Brothers movie that didn't have any style at all and had horrible CGI. Yes, I'm talking about You Flash. Look at those scenes in The Flash. This was my exact reaction.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I know I'm like the 500th person to talk about the bad CGI in that movie, but golly, that shit was terrible. Let's move on, shall we?
Finally.
Number 4, meme culture. In our daily lives, we live by memes. We send them, say them, post them. We all love them for different reasons. Whenever people are excited for a certain movie, the memes come out the woodworks, and you usually see a swarm of them. And these 3 movies were no exception to that. There were so many memes of these movies to where it felt like people themselves were promoting the movie. I'm not even complaining about these memes. They were fun to look at. Some of my favorite memes of Spider-Verse is when the first trailer to the movie had came out and you see that hard cut of all the Spider-Man chasing Miles. Me and everyone thought the same thing when we saw this, that all the Spider-Man had discovered that he was black.
Wait, he's black?
They started chasing him. But all the Cross the Spider-Verse memes, there were so many. However, 2 of them are my favorite. This one and this one. It's true. I could definitely see that man listening to Cardi's music. But y'all know I had to talk about probably the biggest meme this summer, and that was the Great Barbenheimer Rave.
So it begins.
From when audiences found out that Barbie and Oppenheimer had the same release, people went crazy with the memes until whether the internet had named this crazy phenomenon Barbenheimer. Every time you got on social media, you will see people talk about Barbenheimer or post memes of the movie. It came to a point where I thought this was like a real movie where Barbie and Oppenheimer were actually clashing. This almost felt like free marketing between these 2 movies, and to where like people were doing much better than the job than the actual movie studios. And from the craze of these memes, both Barbie and Oppenheimer were vastly different movies for 2 different audiences. Barbies were for women and their daughters who grew up playing with Barbie, and seeing that movie, it had a diverse cast and pulled even a bigger audience. Then the Great Oppenheimer pulled in a big audience too. You have Christopher Nolan fans who just love him because of his past work and what he did with The Dark Knight and so on and so on. I mean, Christopher Nolan fans love him so much to where he can make a movie about a singing beaver and people will go rush to see it. And there's a reason why people love Christopher Nolan and his movies. He's a talented person who has passion for his craft. He takes time to develop his stories. Well, sometimes, and his characters. Now, I said sometimes. I know his stories are always clear, or it takes some time to, understand the story. You got to go rewatch it. However, you see the talent along with the actors behind the scenes of his movies. And when an artist has a lot of passion for their work, people will flock to experience it. Number 5, they were not safe. For the past few years, I know something about the blockbusters we all go and see. They're all safe. A lot of movies I see nowadays go this formulaic narrative while the stories all feel the same, and all kind of look the same too. And I feel like movie studios are scared to break formula. However, these 3 movies stand out to be different. There's no doubt that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse looks different from your common animated movie. And plus, let's take a minute to talk about this beautiful animation style, and let's take a moment just to see this sexy ass art style. But what makes this movie so special is that you have a Black/Latino superhero and a diverse group of spider people. I know, such blasphemy that we have a biracial superhero and a diverse cast of characters. But 10 or 20 years ago, a superhero movie like this would not have been made. Along with characters, you have a story, you have a superhero going up against people like him, but however, they have a different ideology and they did not want him in there in the first place. So this film is already going against the major blockbusters of not being safe. By it, you have a group of people discussing politics and science. In addition, the movie doesn't follow traditional storytelling. We have two narratives, actually. You have one story through Oppenheimer's eyes, told through color, and then you have the other part of the film where it's told through the eyes of Louis Strauss, who's played by Robert Downey Jr., which is in black and white. All this is a great way to make your film ambitious, interesting, above all, not the stock kind of film that the rest of the movies we've been getting lately.
Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie. Out the three, you would think Barbie was the movie that would go down that safe route. When they first announced the Barbie movie, along with the cast, my mind first went to those straight-to-DVD Barbie movies. And coming out the movie, I was like,
Actually, that wasn't half bad.
I didn't love the movie like some other people did. However, it did things smart within the movie. I respected it for going there too. The relationship that Barbie and Ken have went in a direction that I didn't think they would go through. The movie made Ken an interesting character, and it had some Easter eggs that were worth placing in. Because nowadays, movies will stop the movie like, oh, look at this Easter egg, look at this one. And even though this movie did to a certain extent, the Easter eggs was interesting because I didn't know a lot about Barbie, and it was cool, especially about Mitch. Like I didn't know there was a pregnant Barbie out there. Thought that was funny. And what made Barbie such an interesting movie was the world building within it. Barbie Land, where it establishes rules to immerse its audience, and above all, it made the least interesting Barbie the one to find her purpose. I like that because when I was younger, those straight to video Barbie movies, the main Barbie was always popular, beloved by everyone, and she almost seemed perfect. Where in here, it seemed like that in the first half of the movie, but it didn't. And you see, like, okay, this Barbie is actually flawed, and I like that. In the Barbie movie, they flipped the plot upside down and not making it a safe film. And doing this video essay, I realized all three movies have a great antagonist. I just wanted to note that. And finally, they were good movies. There's a saying where after you leave from watching a good movie, you just don't think about them, but you feel them, where you want to talk about them with your friends or family, and you feel a very personal connection with the characters. For example, I felt emotional connection with Miles when the society didn't want him there. In Oppenheimer, while I couldn't connect with any of the characters, I did enjoy the passionate nature of Robert Oppenheimer trying to invent one of the most ambitious weapons ever built. And let me just say it, one of the most dangerous weapons ever built. Now, Barbie isn't a movie that was meant for me. I enjoyed it. It's not for the aesthetic of the film, but for the main Barbie going on a journey to where she is made to do one thing, or I should say made to be one thing, but wanted to do something else with her life. And I respect the movie for doing that. I enjoyed all these movies for different reasons, and I was entertained by these movies in different ways. Plus, I can never answer the question of which movie was better. If somebody would ask me,
Why is that?
well, it's because all three of these movies are vastly different. And that's the key word here, different. It seems like the past few years we're all getting the same movies, big CGI spectacles, so many blockbusters that look alike, repetitive plot lines. Now, while I was going to see all those movies that I was just criticizing, I just wanted something different. And these three movies gave me that. And seeing the success of these three movies, I felt the audience had been wanting something other than a Marvel movie or your standard modern Hollywood blockbuster film. For big movies flopping here lately and the movie industry changing due to the writers and actors strike, maybe we would look at all of these things and try to make a compelling, unique, and great films in the future. So yes, everyone, thank you for listening to my second video essay. This one's fun to make. There was some mistrials, but however, I was having a lot of fun with these. Let me know in the comment section if you prefer our video essays or us on podcast episodes. Tell us which one you prefer, because I have a lot of fun making these. I feel like I'm better at doing these video essays. I hope all of you enjoy, and please, like, share, and most of all, subscribe to the channel. And you'll all have a great and safe day. And remember, stay frosty.